Hey everybody, welcome to the DBS Films podcast. My name is Kellen and it's just me and you, so that means it is a DBS Films production update. In these episodes, we kind of give you an in-depth look at where we're at on a weekly basis of DBS Films and our production process. We have some big announcements, mainly in the fact that we have a lot of things going live next week. Be sure to take a look at our Discord to be part of these things, to be part of our auditions, to be part of all the cool things going on. That's going to be the place to be. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. So the two major things that are coming up right now are going to be that we have our Kickstarter campaign and our auditions for the next movie. They're basically launching at the same time. So what's going to happen is on Wednesday, if you're part of our Discord community, you will get the information for what lines you will be reading in the sense of the audition and the process for doing that. And if you're also in our Discord, you will get access to a pre-launch Kickstarter. The Kickstarter and the upload for the auditions are going to both go live then on Friday at 8 a.m. So basically, you get the information on Wednesday, and then on Friday, both of those things go live. If you're just listening to this, we are looking at doing a Kickstarter to promote our newest movie, The Haunting of the Murder House. We're going to use the funds as basically a way for us to help promote the movie during the launch day, hopefully get on the good side of a few algorithms, because that can make a huge difference. If you listen to our podcast on marketing, you really want to embrace the algorithm as much as you possibly can. And so much is riding on that first few days of the movie getting on a new platform. And we're going to use the funds that we raise as a way to help promote that, push ads towards it, a lot of different things there. Any additional fee or donations and stuff that we get, we're going to look at putting right back into the community. And on top of that, it's going to be a really, really awesome chance for us to do a really good merch drop and get our store set up. So there's a few things that are kind of all coming in place. More importantly, though, I'm really excited because if we do this right, we're going to be able to get to the front page of Kickstarter and show everyone DBS Films for the first time. So I think there's going to be a really great way for us to not only raise money to help launch our newest movie, The Haunted the Murder House, but it's also a way for us to reward our fans and find a whole ton of new fans out there. So I'm very excited for that. Next up, we have the audition. So guys, this is something that we are always going to do for each and every one of our movies. We absolutely love the idea that we are going to always be sure to cast from our Discord when it comes to working with our fans and working with them as a way to see who we can go ahead and bring on, whether it is just acting, writing, or editing. We're going to continue to scale up. This one, we are just looking for roles for our newest film, Into the Forest 2.0, which right now is currently in a development phase for the script. So that's where that one is at. And with that being said, we are looking for a good amount of people. The way it's going to work is we have all of those lines released for them to take a look and review on Wednesday. And then on Friday, it is a completely remote audition, meaning you can do it anywhere in the world. You upload the video rounds. We're going to go through the video rounds. We'll have a Zoom call back with you. We'll have another Zoom call back with you where we go over schedule. And then if you do get the role, you're going to get flown out here. But again, this is something that DBS Films is going to do for each and every one of our movies moving forward, because we make movies for our fans, with our fans, and we are thrilled about it. We also on Monday are going to have a Q&A type, not really a Q&A as much as just a discussion with me and my brother on what we're looking for. So be sure to check that out in the Discord community as well. So those are kind of the big things we're looking at. With that being said, we also have the Shapeshifter is getting through its next cut. We're getting close to the superfan cut, which again is the cut that we show all of the community superfans so they can get their feedback on it. I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be really huge step up. Looking forward to hearing what they say. I think a lot of people are going to love this script, love this plot, love this concept. So I'm eager. I can't wait because to me, it definitely is our best movie that we've ever made. So that is hopefully going to be finished by the end of August, early September, with a push for us to get this bad boy out by October. So we're moving quick. And with that being said, kind of going into the audition process for Into the Force 2.0. Once we go through the audition process for it, and we lock down the schedule, we're going to be able to go ahead and say, okay, what are we looking like for filming wise? We're looking at the end of August, early September when it comes to our ability to go ahead and make another movie. So we are moving on all cylinders. We're actually talking today about how it feels like we really finally have a good cadence going, and we're going to continue to maximize on it. So a lot of interesting things going on when it comes to DBS Films and the production right now. As always, we want to go ahead and answer some of our questions in the Discord. So we do have questions for podcasts. So if you ask your questions here, I'm going to go ahead and answer these questions. First one that we have is from Vin, and she mentions, first off, talk about someone that we always love seeing. She hopped right into this Discord. She's super active. She's super fun. All of these things. It really is something where I just absolutely love it when we get people like her, because it just makes the community so wholesome and it's so awesome to see. So thank you so much for being you. Her question was, where do you see DBS Films going in the next year? And honestly, I think it's impossible for me to tell. And the reason I say that is we're growing so fast at such a big rate that I don't know what I can even look like as like a good proper forecast. And the reason I point back to this is, had you told us last year that we'd have a community of 6,000 some people in the Discord and we're doing all of this stuff, I would not believe you. I would have no clue, never would have guessed it whatsoever. So it's really tough the way that we're growing and how things are working right now. I would say the biggest thing and the most important thing is, I think by this time next year, me and my brother will have the ability to do DBS Films full time instead of having our day jobs. And I think that's going to take us to a next level, because as we were talking in the podcast, that's when we go from 4 movies to 8 movies to potentially 12 movies a year. And, you know, that's when we can devote more time. I can be more active in the Discord, which is exactly what I want to do. So I think that's the biggest one that I can foresee. The other details, I really can't. I would say we're going to have a lot more people in our movies. I think our budgets are going to scale up. And I think one of the big things is people are going to start to know who we are. But it's so hard for me to really kind of go down to the specifics. I think I can barely see 2 months ahead. Like, I have no clue what this Kickstarter is going to look like, what the launch of the Murder House is going to look like. So there's a lot of things that are just tough to forecast, which is one of the things, but it's usually a good problem that we're having right now. And the reason for this is because it, you know, is such huge impacts that can go one way or the other. So interesting stuff, great stuff, but I think it's all going to be good. So really excited for it. The next question is from Sage, and Sage mentions, I see you guys support the LGBTQ community here. I myself am trans and would love to audition for you guys, but I wouldn't want to be placed as a female role, as I view myself as male. What do you guys think those auditions, or what would you do for trans people? And first off, I love this question, Sage, because we are very inclusive, and I want this to be a critical part of DBS in the film studio, because I think we can give this opportunity for so many people to be in horror movies. You know, I like to think I can kill anyone and everyone, so that will never be a limitation. With that being said, though, I think we are going to try and be essentially as flexible as we can with the different roles. But what you mentioned, I don't see any issues at all. I would just say audition for that role. And those are things we, take into consideration. But I would actually be actively looking for diversity, in my opinion. And I think that's one of the benefits we're going to have from having this community, is we're going to be able to look within our community, which is already so diverse, and look at casting people who are active and supporting throughout it, which, Sage, you're doing a fantastic job of that. So you're already well on your way. It is something that I think we'll never look at having body size or identities or anything like that is something that will prevent you from either getting a role or working with DBS. And it's actually something that, I would say the counterpoint, we're going to actively be looking for these roles, because I think representation is super critical, especially in an industry that has such few opportunities. So I think that's going to be a big mission statement of ours. I'm really happy that you asked that question, because I think it does, again, comes back to our community element and how we really want to have as many opportunities as possible. And then Kelly mentioned, so Kelly, our favorite future intro girl, she mentions, what's something you and Brennan would like to fix in the last movies you guys made to make the new ones better? And honestly, I feel like I could go through each and every one of these movies. So you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to take a look real quick, see if I can't sum it up. For Gone, we had no clue what we were doing. So I think we make an alien type movie where there's something in the woods. You see maybe 1 or 2 outlines. You make it kind of like Signs, but there's definitely a 2.0 version there. The Invited, we just did not have the budget that we needed to have for that movie, but the core concept is there. You just need to have a lot more partying. You gotta have like sex and drug scenes and stuff like that, really amp up the action when it comes to how cool the cult is versus just being really weird, which is what we currently have here. So that one's an easy one. Unseen, I think honestly this is the closest one of just having a fresh remake, in the sense of I wouldn't really change too much because it's a low budget movie, but I don't really like the idea. But I think all we would have to play up is the trauma she's going through is a lot better laid out. Maybe have a psychiatrist, maybe someone she's working with, because I think the whole thing with that needs to be, is she crazy, is she not crazy? that needs to be like an element to it. The Haunted of the Whitlow House, we just need a real haunted house, and then we can murder a bunch of super fans on it. So that would be cool. Into the Forest, we're actually remaking that one. Not much is really changing element wise, but we are ironing out the core concept much better, and we explain the plot so much better. We did a terrible job of explaining the plot in the first one. Haunting of the Suicide House, which is now the Haunting of the Murder House. You'll see exactly what we do and the differences there, but that's a great example. Haunting of the Morgan Estate, we just needed to add the brother Ethan in there as an actual character, not just someone you talk about. I think that fills it out. And then the Devil in the Room, we just need to have a much larger budget so Frank can have the special effects that will be his, what he's really, really needing. And I would say that this is what Brendan kind of agrees with too, because we talk about these all the time. So that's kind of our mindset. But again, as always, these are just us testing ideas, learning, experiencing, and these are most likely going to be ideas that we always look back to. So appreciate those questions. Again, as always, guys, everyone asking us questions, it really, really is great to see. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. But until then, have a good one.